All right, if you're a first-time founder, you know there's this one giant hurdle that can feel, well, almost impossible, raising that first seed round. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify the whole thing. We're breaking down exactly what you need to do to land that crucial first investment. Let's dive right in.
You know, it really all boils down to one question. A question that I can pretty much guarantee is bouncing around the head of every single early-stage founder in India right now. It's this number that feels so huge, so important, and maybe just a little bit scary.
And there it is, the big one. As someone new to this whole game, is it actually possible to raise between 50 lakhs and 1 crore? This isn't just some random number. It's the goal for so many startups. And the answer? Well, it might just surprise you.
The answer, to put it simply, is yes. 100% yes. And I want that to sink in for a second. This is not a pipe dream. It's a totally achievable target.
And get this. Not only is it achievable, but that 50 lakh to 1 crore range, that's not even the ceiling, not by a long shot. In the world of seed rounds, the potential is actually way, way bigger.
A seed round can go as high as $1 million. Yeah, you heard that right. At today's rates, that's nearly 9 crore rupees. So the point is, the capital is out there. The real question isn't if it's possible, it's how you get your hands on it.
And that right there is the key. To get from a brilliant idea to a funded company, there is one specific, absolutely non-negotiable tool you have to have. It's the one thing that separates the startups that just get meetings from the ones that actually get checks.
This is where we see the most important mindset shift for any founder. You've got to move beyond just having a big, passionate idea. You have to evolve from a pitch into a concrete, data-driven plan. And that plan has to be built on something real. Which, by the way, is why having an MVP, a minimum viable product, is so essential at this stage.
This really cuts right to the heart of it, doesn't it? It shows the two different languages that are often spoken in a pitch meeting. Founders, we love to lead with our passion, our big ideas, our stories. But investors, they're listening for something else. They're listening for projections, for data, and for a rock-solid financial model. If you want to succeed, you've got to learn to speak their language.
I mean, it doesn't get much clearer than this. At the end of the day, after all the inspiring stories are told, investors make decisions based on numbers. It is the universal language of business, and it's the language of return on investment.
Now, don't get me wrong, your passion, your story, they're absolutely vital. That's what gets an investor to even open your email and agree to a meeting in the first place. But it's that detailed, thoughtful financial model that convinces them to pull out the checkbook.
So, let's get practical. What actually goes into this financial model? Well, the beating heart of it is a concept called capital utilization. This is basically you telling an investor in painstaking detail what you're going to do with their money.
That's the official definition, but think of it like this. It's a promise. You're looking an investor in the eye and saying, if you give me this much money, I will spend it on these specific things, and that spending will directly result in these specific outcomes. It's all about strategy and accountability. So your model has to answer these questions with crystal clarity. And I'm not talking about vague ideas. I'm talking specific line items. Where is the money going? How is it being used? Hiring people, marketing campaigns, new tech? And the most important question of all, for every rupee you spend, what is the measurable result you expect to see? You know, the best way to think about your financial model is not as some boring spreadsheet. It's your company's strategic roadmap for the near future. It's your game plan to get from where you are now to where you need to be. This is the ultimate question your model has to answer. An investor is giving you fuel for the journey, right? So they want to know where that rocket is going to be when the fuel tank hits empty. What major milestones will you have achieved? What tangible progress will you have to show for it? In 18 months, that's the standard. That's the runway a seed investment is typically expected to cover. It's the time frame you have to prove your concept works, to gain real traction, and to get the company ready for its next big leap, which, by the way, usually means its next round of funding. So here's what investors need to see projected out over those 18 months. How many users will you have? What does your market traction look like? If you're making money, how much? And, so critically, what's your plan for raising the next round of funding when this seed money starts to run low? And let me be perfectly clear. Every single one of those points has to be meticulously planned out and detailed in your financial model. No shortcuts, no exceptions. This is the proof that you have a real plan, not just a nice dream. Okay, we've covered a ton of the why and the what. Now, let's boil this all down into a clear, super straightforward action plan that you can literally start working on today. First things first, a quick reality check.
All of this advice is for founders who are past the I have an idea stage. You should have already built your MVP, your minimum viable product. You need something tangible to build all these financial projections on top of.
So here it is, your path forward. Simple as 1, 2, 3. 1. Finalize that MVP. Get it polished and ready to go. 2. Build that detailed 18-month financial roadmap we've been talking about. And 3. Only after you've done those first two things do you start reaching out to investors armed with a real plan, not just a pitch.
And really, that's what it all comes down to. We know you're passionate about your idea. We know it's probably brilliant. But the one question that will ultimately decide whether you get funded or not is this. Your idea is ready, but are your numbers?